Skip Bayless comes back as Stephen A. Smith about an episode that he had on his podcast recently that was a response to what Skip Bayless and Richard Sherman had to say to each other on the opening of Undisputed. Because for context, y'all remember that episode of Richard Sherman going on First Take back in the days and disrespecting the hell out of Skip Bayless. And Skip Bayless, if you recall, he was playing it very passive. Like he was just taking all of the shots and trying to keep it about football, right? Richard Sherman was just going crazy on him, right? So fast forward 10 years later, now they're on the same show and they had to do the reunion. So the smart move was to obviously have that conversation on live, gathering some anticipation from the fans and everything, and taking advantage of the situation. And Skip Bayless alluded to the fact that the show, First Take, at the time wasn't the staples that it is today, was on probation, and that therefore he pretty much had to take it. And Stephen A. Smith took some exception to it for whatever reason. Stephen A. Smith wasn't really a point of emphasis in that conversation. His name did come up at some point, but come on now. So he took to his own podcast and decided to address some details that Skip Bayless allegedly left out about why the show was on probation. And Stephen A. Smith pretty much went out there and said that it was about Skip Bayless's coverage of Team Tebow back in the day, that the show was on probation because the sponsors and the directors felt like the show was headed in a direction that wasn't really serious, that it was a caricature of a show, a caricature of sports analysis that was going on, and they didn't like that, and hence they put the show on probation, which I didn't even know was a thing, so I was shocked when I learned that information, right? So I didn't get in the first place why Stephen A. Smith felt the need to insert himself in that conversation that pretty much had nothing to do with him 10 years later. But then Skip Bayless took to his own podcast to address the facts, the real facts, quote unquote. And I completely understand why Skip felt the need to do that. But before we go too far, we're going to play what Skip Bayless had to say. But even before we do that, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. All right, so y'all heard the truth. And I got to say, I believe Skip Bayless. His version of the story, it makes way more sense, and he also had all of the facts. He had the dates. Skip Bayless, for those who don't watch the show, he comes up here with notes and everything. He just felt genuine, and Skip doesn't feel like he would do any bullshits around this Stephen A. Smith at that point of his career. Like, he has nothing but love for Stephen A. Smith still. He reminded us of that. I didn't play that part, but yeah, there's no beef right there. It's just literally fact checking, right? Because some of the terms that Stephen A. Smith used while he was actually describing what allegedly happened, I really understand why Skip Bayless felt like, oh, come on now. Like, I was a caricature. Although sometimes, and I'm not the only one, there's a lot of people who do feel like Skip Bayless is just out there trolling, talking, being like literally a caricature, right? For Skip Bayless' perspective, if he's actually genuine, obviously he would want to fact check that. Plus, Stephen A. Smith kind of threw him under the bus with that Team Tebow coverage, which Stephen A. Smith confirmed that it brought some positivity to the show, but he did say, so as a result of that, we were on probation, that the show almost got canceled over that Skip Bayless thing. And I don't have that much memories about that part of First Take, but I remember seeing a lot of clips, and he felt like Skip just wasn't serious about the man. Every time Tim Tebow would come up on TV, he would just have that big-ass smile on his face, and he would go out there and say some wild stuff, like saying that Tim Tebow was more must-see TV than LeBron and Kobe, that type of bullshit. I was like, all right, man, like, he's not even that good. He had a few good moments, but that's that, you know? So what was interesting to me about this whole thing is that the reason that First Take almost got canceled was Rob Parker, who got fired over some declarations, and that I wasn't aware of. I wasn't really in tune with First Take back in the days like that, but I knew that Rob Parker and Chris Broussard used to work there, but I never really knew that Rob Parker went out there and got himself in trouble, over some declarations who were so bad that it caused him to lose his job. So what I did is I made a quick Google search to see what Rob Parker actually got him fired, right? And here's what he had to say about Robert Griffin III. He said he is a cornball brother. So that's what he said on live TV. Then I was like, why would he say that? And he come to find out that it's because he's into interracial dating. He had a wife fiance at the time, so he called him a cornball brother on TV, which is like, yeah. I don't know if I would fire someone over these type of comments, but it's like, come on, Rob. Like, why would you even say that? Even if that's how you feel, why would you ever say that on TV? So yeah, we can close the video right here. I don't think there's much more that needs to be said. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And get in the comment section and give me your thoughts about this whole thing. Did you remember that Rob got fired for this? Do you believe Skip Bayless or do you believe Stephen A. Smith? And I appreciate you guys for checking me out, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.